Welcome to Women's Sports Weekly, where women's sports happen every day, but we talk about it once a week. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Carolyn. Women's Sports Weekly is a podcast where we discuss the latest news, explore interesting stories, and share our love for women's sports. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Women's Sports Weekly Pod. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Send us an email at womensportsweeklypod@gmail.com, and we may feature your email on our listener experience zone, The Les. Happy New Year!
Yeah, I can't believe it's a new year. I feel like our trip back to New Jersey and celebrating Christmas has just flown by, and it feels already like, I don't know, a year away. I mean, a year behind us. I feel like so much time has passed already since we've been in New Jersey.
I know, and since we've caught up with our listeners.
I know. The last two episodes were the best of 2025, so we haven't recorded in quite a while.
Yes, so over the holidays, we were in New Jersey visiting family, which was great. We even got to go to Brooklyn and see some college games. We got to see Tennessee and Louisville, and then UConn and Iowa. Two games that were not great, unfortunately. But Barclays Center is great, and we had a great day.
It was awesome. My immediate family was there, my sisters and their partners, my parents, your mom came, your friend Davey came, and their mom. Overall, it was really fun. My youngest sister, Carly, lives in Brooklyn, so we got to start the day at her apartment, which we were all seeing for the first time, which is so cute, and her neighborhood in Brooklyn is awesome as well. She showed us a great restaurant after the games and the best ice cream, Cafe Pana, I think it was called. I'm still thinking about that ice cream.
It was really good. I love Brooklyn. Fall in love with it more every time that we go. I have one gripe about the Barclays Center, and that's that they didn't have any Liberty gear out when we arrived.
They had a very small section, and you had to ask someone, where are the Liberty uniforms? And someone was like, oh, they'll be up in 20 minutes. The games are starting. Like, why weren't you prepared? There's women's games going on. People are here and they want the Liberty gear.
It's really interesting to me, and this is why we have this podcast, right? There are systemic things in place. That is such a big oversight to be like, there are two women's games here today, and we're just not going to put any of the Liberty stuff out. Like, you don't want to make money, clearly. Yeah. And that's just so frustrating to me. And they did bring them up, and I did get a Natasha Cloud jersey, so I'm very happy. But how many people walked in and walked out and was like, oh, there's no Liberty stuff. Oh, well, you got to catch people when it's hot. And it just makes me so frustrated. But other than that, it was great. We also got to go to Philly and see your best friend, Erica, and her husband, Tommy, and their new baby. It was just really, really nice.
Yeah, it was nice to be home. I got to see friends, saw Lauren, Tim, saw Lindsay, and family. It's nice to be able to squeeze people in. It feels not enough time, but it's so important to see those people when we're back home. So that's so appreciated. And you got to see your lifelong friends.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I got to go sleigh riding with my family, and everyone on my family was very sick. There's a crazy flu going around in New Jersey and Colorado as well. But yeah, everyone was sick. I'm very thankful that I got my flu shot because I think that's what saved us. I'm going to knock on all the wood.
I got sick when I was there. I didn't get the flu, thankfully, and I'm still feeling it. But yeah, of course, I got sick when we were back east. I was like, this would happen.
Yeah. And also, something very important happened when we were back. Hold on. Before we get into that, this is also important. We ate so much good Italian food when we were home.
Yes. I think we ate Italian every single day. And not any Italian that our family was making, which you think they would, but it was eating out every day.
So many like penne vodka chicken cutlet sandwiches, and just give me all of it all the time.
So good.
My body loves cheese and carbs.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, but like it doesn't affect my stomach. It's like I'm made for this.
It's our sport, eating carbs and cheese when we go back to New Jersey.
For sure. But we did another sport, and that was our 100-meter dash.
We did owe this to the listeners because there's been past things we said we were going to do on bets and they never happened.
Correct.
So we did follow through and do the 100-meter dash. And if you follow us on socials, you likely saw the video of this on our Instagram. Carolyn ended up winning. She is the biggest sore winner I've ever met. And for the record, everyone thought I was going to be a sore loser, and I was not.
You were not a sore loser.
But you are a sore winner.
Why am I a sore winner?
You had to tell everyone. And the amount of times that you were watching the video when I was sitting right there was really unbelievable.
Okay, I had to tell people because
That's fine, but the number of times you watched the video was concerning.
there is not much I can beat you at athletically. There's not much. And I had faith in myself and I went out there and we warmed up. We ran 3 miles before and then we went to the track and we warmed up more. We were like the smartest
it
people.
was 20 degrees outside.
I know. Our friend Sarah said the real win is that neither of us pulled anything, but we were smart ladies and we warmed up before. We had my mom record. We both felt like 100 meters was a longer way than we thought. And my mom said, go, and we went off.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad we did it. Maybe we'll do it again one day.
Oh, you think you might win another
I didn't say
day?
that. I just said maybe we could do it again one day.
So you can lose twice?
Maybe. All right, you don't need to do it again. By the way, if Scout joined us on this race, she would have smoked us both.
Oh my gosh.
We saw her run probably a 200 meter because she was chasing a deer on the other side of the fence. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But she would have killed us.
Oh my gosh. She was as fast as a deer, which was really something.
It was amazing.
And we see more wildlife in New Jersey than we'll ever see in Colorado. The deer just...
No, not in Colorado, in Denver. We're in a city, Carolyn.
The deer are just my mom's neighbors.
Yeah.
They're like everywhere.
Yeah.
You open up the door and they're just staring at you. And my mom...
I would walk Scout around the corner and they would be running through your mom's yard and Scout would lose her mind.
Yeah. And they're not like... My mom does not live in a rural area. She doesn't live in a woody area. It's just New Jersey.
Suburbs.
Yeah, suburbs, baby. And then we came back to Colorado and had a nice New Year's here, and it was wonderful. And we went out to dinner. Do you have anything that you loved about it?
Yeah, I loved that it was just us. It was very nice to have a low-key one and try a new restaurant, which was more Italian food here in Denver, and it was delicious. And then the next day we got together with some run club friends and started the year off with a run, which I loved.
Yeah, that was good. And I'm not even complaining about it.
Yeah, because it was a nice day.
It was nice.
Over the weekend, this weekend, it was 70 degrees in Denver. Can't really complain about the weather here.
Yeah, unless you're worried about climate change, but we won't get into that. Do you have any like goals or themes for 2026?
I don't really do resolutions anymore. I mean, I've done them in the past, but now that I'm thinking like themes, it was like I've been cooking a lot of different recipes. I want to continue to do that because I enjoy it. And I want to get into baking more. So maybe doing more things that I have fun with and just explore outside of just, I don't know, my regular things that I do in my free time. Just baking and cooking more, I think, is what I want to get into.
I love that. More fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a good theme to have.
How about you?
I told you earlier this week that my word for the year is going to be freedom. I want like more, which sounds very American, but more like choices, more of like what I want to do and exploring that. And again, more playfulness, like more fun. I just want to be able to choose a little bit more because I feel like in 2025, unfortunately, I didn't have a ton of choices in certain areas, and a lot of things I just were told this is what you're doing and this is what you need to do. And so in 2026, I want more freedom, choice to do what I want to do.
Love it.
We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. So I hope everyone else had a great new year, great holidays, and we're happy to be back with y'all.
Yeah, we are, because we're going to talk about something
gosh.
that I am so excited to talk about.
My only complaint about this is it's men's sports.
I know. Okay, so we're talking about Heated Rivalry. We have to. And I'm going to propose a rule because we do have like a loose rule here that we don't talk about men's sports. I think we should be able to talk about men's sports if it's gay.
I'm not saying we can't talk about it. I'm just saying I wish this was a sapphic version. I love this, so I don't want to change anything about this show, actually. I loved the show exactly for what it was, and I loved the characters, so let me just put that out there. I don't want to change the show. Now I'm craving a sapphic version of the show. So I'll put it that way because I loved Heated Rivalry.
And I think it was really made for women. It was written by a woman originally. So this is a show on HBO Max that was adapted from a book by Rachel Reed. But then the show was written and directed by a gay man, Jacob Tierney. And it's about 2 hockey players falling in love over time. And I really do feel like it was made for women and men as well, but you could definitely like the longing, the yearning, the romance of it all was like definitely for us.
Yeah, and the strong female characters, which I know you'll dive into more, but that was another piece that we really appreciated.
For sure. And it's been taking over the internet. We're not going to give out any spoilers, but I just feel like I need to talk about this because it's the only thing that's been on my mind. It's like all I want to talk to you about. It's all I want to talk to anyone about. It's on my For You page everywhere because the algorithm knows what to feed me. I get all of the edits. But it's funny because when we watch men's sports, we see the men fight all the time. And what do I say? For the past 15 years, 10 years since we've been together, what do I say every time the men fight?
Kiss.
Yeah, I say make out. And because there is this masculinity piece where it's like masculinity, and then you're like, just make out already. Like, to me, being gay is not a masculine thing,
no,
you know?
Not at all.
And so it just is like another step of it. And we're finally getting that in a TV show. It's just so amazing. And I think if we had a little bit more gayness in men's sports, you would have a lot more viewers. People say all the time to me, I would watch more women's sports if. And like, I've never asked them what it would take for them to watch more women's sports. I would watch more men's sports if it was a little bit gayer.
Well, they're out there. They're just not out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that is really sad. And I'm glad that we have a show like this. Honestly, this show may inspire people, especially with the response, to come out. I really hope it does. And just a huge shout out to Canada. Thank you, Canada, for making this show. The show is a masterpiece, and I want to talk about the actors in it. So there's two main characters, Shane and Ilya. Shane is played by actor Hudson Williams, and Ilya is played by actor Connor Story. And they're both like two up-and-coming actors. And I do think this gets made in Canada because the US is so focused on who has the most followers, what's going to make the most money. And instead, this show gets made in Canada with taxpayer money and just takes it over because it's actually what people want rather than just making the most amount of money. The way that the character Shane, Hudson Williams, is able to show emotion through his eyes. Can we just talk about it? I could cry just thinking about it. There's so many scenes where he's sitting at a table about to come out for the first time and you could just see it in his eyeballs. I'll never get over this, Danielle.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
And then Connor Story, who plays Ilya, is a Russian character. And we were watching and I was like, I didn't know anything about this really going in. And I was like, wow, this actor is definitely Russian.
Oh, yeah.
This must be really hard for this person to play a gay character, especially coming from Russia. I look him up. He's from Texas. He provides a whole monologue in Russian, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like we mentioned, the show is adapted from a book. It's like a smutty book.
I cannot wait to read the books.
I know.
Series. It's a series of books.
I'm really looking forward to it as well. But there's like some cheesy lines because it's smut, because it's a romance. And somehow these actors take some of these cheesy lines and just make them work.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty cheesy myself. You always say that. I never thought anything in it was cheesy because I love that stuff, but that's coming from me.
I just also think the themes in it, how it was shot, like I am not a cinematographer. I don't know anything, but like the way they use darkness and light, there's so many things that they carry through that I thought was amazing. The music in it, I've been nonstop listening to it. If you come to my yoga class, that's all we're playing. That's going to be the playlist, is Heated Rivalry. And yes, this story includes sex and it is explicit and it's hot, but like this is a romance, long-term love story and made me just feel so nice.
Yeah, and I hope queer people obviously are watching this show with no issues. I really hope there's a bunch of straight people who are out there watching it without feeling any type of way about it, because it's like us as queer people watch straight stories on movies and books on the TV all our lives. That's all we are given, and
it didn't make us any more straight, just showed us what love could be.
Exactly. And the way this love story is portrayed, I just think a lot of people can learn from it.
That's such a good point. Such a good point, Danielle.
It's one of the best love stories I've seen in a while, so I'm really excited for the books.
Yes. And there were several times I looked at you during the show and I had tears coming down my face and I was like, this is wrecking me. This is wrecking me how beautiful this is. The relationship with people and their parents, the relationship between the two. There's so many relatable feelings in it. And obviously it's fantasy and romanticized, but it just really made me feel something.
Yeah.
And we started watching it right at the end of 2025 into 2026. We were able to binge it all, which was so nice. But I know people have been on this journey for weeks now, and it's just like, yeah, it's quite a journey.
We already watched it twice, so
Yes.
it can be done. There's only 6 episodes in season 1.
Yeah, and I just think like the cultural phenomenon that's happening around it just proves that like we need more stories like this. I felt similarly after watching the movie Moonlight, but there's so much queer representation that's sad. And no doubt there are sad parts of this show, but it's so nice to see the happiness of it and to see the thriving of it. And especially in a time where I feel like things are going backwards, especially politically, it's very cool to see how art steps out and says, nope, I know what you need. Nope, I know what everyone needs. And even though we could be regressing in so many other areas, we're going to continue to push forward with this. And yeah, I could get emotional just talking about it.
I know. It's great. And hopefully this will inspire people to write more queer stories about female sports.
And like we mentioned, the female characters were so amazing in it. They hold down the male characters so well. They just continue to show up. And I just thought that was such a cool way to be like, this is a show about men, but the women are the ones who are holding it down.
I agree.
Can you do your best? I'm coming to the cottage.
You know, I suck at...
Was that good?
It was pretty good.
You have to
I
like drop
suck at
your
that.
voice to be like Ilya.
I'm coming to the cottage. I told you I can't do accents, so don't make fun of me.
I'm not. I've been really trying. I'm like,
And that's the first time I tried.
that was really good. I want to be
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
on your knees, Hollander.
Oh my God.
Oh, so good. Okay. The other thing that I want to mention and bring this back to women's sports is we have this story in women's sports so many times. And like, we're lucky to have that, right? Because the men don't have that.
Yep.
We have stories of women falling in love in different leagues, on teams. So what story in real life would you want to see made into a show?
I said to you the other day, I would love a story like this written about Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, because I feel like Megan's been out a lot longer than Sue, but Sue was closeted for a long time. And the start of their relationship was pretty secretive, I believe.
Yes.
So for them, I think it would be such a cool way to show that through a movie.
For sure.
Or a show, I should say, like a series like this.
Yeah, I was like, there has to be similar things that happened in Heated Rivalry that happened between the two of them. And because of homophobia, there is this little bit of secrecy that can be so hot, right? So there is that. And I think about Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd. And like when you're playing on the same team, especially when I played in college, we were encouraged to not date on the same team because it can get messy, whatever. And so that secrecy, or I don't know what happened between Paige and AZ, but I know that some of their teammates knew and it was a pretty well kept secret. But I think that would be so cool to see played out. Sam Kerr and Christy Mewis, who just got married this past week.
Yeah, they were rivals.
Oh my gosh. And just the storyline there. And can we just take a second for how hot Christy Mewis is in a wedding dress?
Okay, how long have I been saying that she is so hot and you just like don't ever really agree with me? It's been years now.
Yeah.
And now you're coming around to it.
I never not agreed. I just wasn't like drooling as much as you were.
Well, now
she's
you
your
are.
person.
Now
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are.
And then I saw her. I was like, whoa, that dress is everything. And then we also have to shout out some hockey players. There's so many. Marie-Philippe Poulin and Laura Stacey from the Canadian national team. They're married. They play together. And they play together on the Montreal Victoire. And like just... yeah, we get those stories. So I'm very thankful for that and would love to see it on the big screen, hot and steamy. Let's go.
I know. We can only hope.
Okay, that's my Heated Rivalry rundown.
It is a great show, so check it out. But before we get into highlights about the women's sports we've been watching, we would like to give some updates for Women's Sports Weekly. Starting with Run Club. We are back to our regularly scheduled Run Club on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. at the 99ers Sports Bar. We meet at the bar at 6 p.m., run 3 miles, come back to the bar, have some drinks, and hang out. If you share the secret word with the bartenders after our run, you will receive 50% off your first draft. The secret word is heated.
Oh, forever. Okay, please rate and subscribe to our podcast. We love to put this podcast together and want to continue to do it. We create, produce, and edit the podcast ourselves. So if you want to support us, rate, subscribe, give us a positive review, and please share with the people you love. Thank you to everyone who has rated the podcast. If you send us a screenshot of your 5-star rating, we will send you a Women's Sports Weekly sticker. So please go ahead and send those screenshots over and we will get you that sticker. All right, let's get into some highlights. Let's stay on the hockey train and talk about the PWHL.
Let's do it.
Now when I'm watching, I'm like, are you hooking up? Are you
Probably
hooking up?
everyone.
And I've done this before, but now it's just like, it's really on.
It's on your mind.
The Seattle Torrent beat the Toronto Sceptres 3-2 in a shootout this past weekend. This was Seattle's first road win in front of 16,000 fans in Hamilton in Canada as part of the Takeover Tour.
Cannot wait for the Takeover Tour to come to Denver, not once, but twice this year.
So great. Seattle's Alex Carpenter provided the game-tying goal to make it 2-2 with 4 minutes and 21 seconds in the third period, and that sent the game into overtime. The Torrent outshot the Sceptres 39-29 in regular play. Just want to shout out the U.S. national team for hockey was released within the past couple of weeks, and Alex Carpenter was also named to the U.S. national team. I also need to take a second because both goalies for Seattle and Toronto, for Seattle it's Corrine Schroeder, and for Toronto it is Reagan Kirk. They had crazy saves throughout this match and ultimately went into overtime and then into a shootout. So overtime in the PWHL is 3v3 with a goalie and 5 minutes of golden goal. So the pressure is on.
Yeah.
The Seattle Torrent controlled overtime. They outshot Toronto 4-0, but could not score because of Reagan Kirk. And then they go into a shootout. The shootout is 5 rounds. It's kind of crazy because the person who's shooting, and again, forgive me, my hockey is only Heated Rivalry and the games that I've seen of the PWHL. But in a shootout, the person with the puck who's trying to score starts behind the halfway mark and is able to run at the goalie on their skates and then just find a way.
Yeah, it's nothing like soccer penalty shootout.
Yes, thank you for making that a lot more clear. So they're literally going at the person, but I guess it kind of makes sense because the goal is so small and the goalie's so big. But Seattle's Hannah Bilka scored the shootout winner with Anna Wilgren adding an insurance goal. Hannah Bilka will also be representing the U.S. at the Olympics. And the goal from Hannah Wilgren was sick. It was so slick. She was slow with it and just was able to get it in. It was really, really impressive. Seattle goaltender Corrine Schroeder stopped all 4 of Toronto's attempts in the shootout and made 27 saves in regulation and overtime to earn her first win as a member of the Torrent. Watch the PWHL because it's amazing, but also if you're getting ready for the Olympics, now is the time to tune in and see who you should be rooting for.
Oh, cannot wait. All right, next we'll talk about LSU versus Kentucky NCAA basketball. Now, there has been a lot of upsets lately. This game was one of those upsets and also LSU's first loss of the season. This was the first SEC matchup for both teams. As I said, Kentucky gave LSU their first loss of the season and they won 80-78. It was basically a buzzer beater. Technically it wasn't because there was still a tiny bit of time on the clock after Kentucky scored a ridiculous 3. And not ridiculous in the sense that it was heaved from half court or anything. Mm-mm. But Toni Morgan had the ball. And it's one of those situations where I was like, is she going to get a shot off? I was stressed. They only needed a 2-pointer, but LSU was playing great defense. It was such a tight game. There was a series of things Michaela Williams from LSU had just hit 3 foul shots to go up. So after Kentucky was up and there was only limited time left. So she has the ball. She's dribbling around and I'm like, oh my God, they're not going to get a shot off. She steps behind the 3-point line, launches one, and it goes in. And we both screamed. I just could not believe, one, I was like, if she missed that shot, I'm still saying it was a dumb shot, but honestly, there was no room to shoot anything else. So I think it was her best shot. I just could not believe it.
Yeah. Explain why you would call it a dumb shot.
I think they were only down by 1 at that point. So they really only needed a 2-pointer. But if she just ran in and threw up a crap layup trying to get a foul and didn't, that wouldn't have been good either. So obviously made the right move, and it was very exciting for them. But just to give a little more background on this game, I'm getting ahead of myself here. There was a lot of runs on this game, and LSU Tigers, who were number 5 at the time, jumped to a 14-2 lead right from the gun before Kentucky Wildcats even settled in. They finally responded and went on a 20-9 run. So back and forth. And then leading up to this madness that I just explained, the game was tied with 2:10 remaining in the fourth.
Then Kentucky took the lead with 1 minute and 18 seconds left when Clara Strack scored on a fadeaway.
That was also a sick move.
Yeah.
Like sick. I was like, she practiced that.
I know, but the way she shoots is a little strange. It's like a little bit over her head, but yeah, she's got that fadeaway down.
Yeah, and it was like leaping off one foot to the other 1 foot fadeaway. It was real nice.
But then LSU has the ball. Michaela Williams, one of my favorite people to watch in the NCAA, and Strack, the same person who just scored, she's really long. She fouls Michaela Williams on a three-pointer.
Which I also cringed at. I was like, I really thought LSU was going to win. I was like, there we go. LSU's going to friggin' win. And I was rooting for the upset there because I was like, let's go, Kentucky.
So Michaela Williams has 3 foul shots. She makes all 3, total ice in her veins.
And then
no
she's
doubt.
hyping up the crowd like she was fired up.
So it's 78-77 with 18 seconds left. And then, like you mentioned, Toni Morgan for Kentucky comes down, dribbles the ball around.
I was so stressed she wasn't getting a shot off because that is the worst thing in basketball when there's no shot taken at the end of the game.
That is the worst.
It's the worst. I've seen it way too many times.
Yeah, and you're like, what was the play?
Yeah.
But she had a play. She ran down the clock, was able to shoot the 3-pointer.
Which I was also shocked by, that they were running down the clock in this situation. There were many things that I was mind boggled. But hey, Kenny Brooks is a great coach. He came over from Virginia Tech. This is his second year at Kentucky. So I'm not questioning him, but I was just like, this is wild.
It was wild. She scores with less than 1 second left, and Kentucky wins 80-78. Toni Morgan finishes with 24 points and 12 assists. So an amazing night for her.
So exciting, that game. I feel like we're in the thick of the season right now, which is the best part.
For sure. Let's get into what we're looking forward to. Danielle, what do you have?
We're going to be talking a lot more about Unrivaled because it began this past Monday, which... damn, I cannot believe Unrivaled is here. I love Unrivaled. There's more teams to watch this year, and there's more games to come this weekend. On Friday, January 9th, final play Rose at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on TNT. And then the Breeze will take on the Hive at 8:45 p.m. Eastern on TNT. I don't know if you're as excited as me about Unrivaled, but what team are you rooting for this year?
This year, I am going with the Phantom. I know.
Is T. Cloud still on the Phantom?
Yeah.
I figured.
Natasha Cloud's on the Phantom, and she's just, she's my favorite player. She's my favorite player to watch. I just love her. Okay. And then Kelsey Plum is on the Phantom.
Fun.
And so I'm excited to see the dynamic. Plus, they have Kiki Iriafen and Aaliyah Boston. And Aaliyah Edwards did so well last year in Unrivaled. And I'm like, I think Kiki Iriafen might have a similar trajectory.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
So that's my team. What about you?
Well, you know, my girl Skylar, which it's funny because now you have a Natasha Cloud jersey and I have a Skylar Diggins jersey, so we can rep our jerseys while watching the games.
We didn't mention that. We both got those during the Christmas time.
You mentioned yours.
Yes.
We also raced in our jerseys, so you can see them there. But I'm going with Lunar Owls. And another Notre Dame favorite is on the Lunar Owls, Marina Mabry. How can I not root for them? Unfortunately, Nafisa Collier did announce she's going to be out for the next couple months. Double ankle surgery, so she will not be playing with the Owls this year, which I'm upset about, but that's my team.
But they pick up Temi Fagbenle, and I'm like, that's a pretty good pickup.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I just love the trash talk that happens in Unrivaled. I love the competition. I love the content that comes out. It's going to be a great season.
So good. What are you looking forward to?
I'm going to take it over to the PWHL. Today, January 7th, the Boston Fleet take on the Seattle Torrent at 7 p.m. on YouTube, and Boston's at the top of the table. So let's see what happens.
Your hockey kick, I don't know if it's ever going to go away.
No, I will never be over Heated Rivalry. And now all I want to do is go to the aquarium. That's what they're calling it, the boy aquarium. But I'll go to the girl aquarium. And what I really want to do and you can take my idea if you're listening, because I don't know if I'll do it, but if we go to the games in Denver, and we're planning on it, I want to make a sign that says, will you come to the cottage? Whatever Shane exactly says. That. Yeah. Or I'm coming to the cottage.
Yeah. I love that. Well, that's it for this week. We will see you next week on Women's Sports Weekly. In the meantime, watch women's sports and share the podcast with your friends. Rate and subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.